Ladies and gents, what's up? Welcome to my 50k Q&A. Now, without further ado, obviously, let's dive straight into it. But before we do so, I want to touch on one thing that obviously a lot of people are wondering. What exactly is going on with Gypsy? Why is he quitting YouTube, etc, etc. Now, I had a video with him, and I also had 20 minutes of talking to him recorded, but unfortunately my dumbass permanently deleted it off his hard drive, and after about 6 hours of data recovery, nothing was done, and it's now completely lost forever. But basically, to give a quick summary of that 20 minutes, it basically comes down to is Gypsy is indeed a gypsy. He doesn't live a simple 9 to 5, and he has to make decisions what he can or cannot do when it comes to income. YouTube for a while was going well for him for income, but at some point it just wasn't, fun to him anymore, meaning that obviously he wasn't putting as much time into it, and because he wasn't making as much money as that, it wasn't worth to try and keep on going to do it. Now, not to give the guy a thing where he's like only doing it for the money, which is completely not true. He still, just didn't enjoy doing it. So for him, the whole charm of it was just gone. He just didn't simply enjoy it anymore. So he just kind of faded away from it more and more, as you probably saw it from his content. A lot of people were obviously also wondering if he will ever come back. Now, I didn't say that he would never come back, but obviously he did say that, don't count on it. He's tore down this whole setup. He's not going to be around, I guess, that much anymore, unless you follow me on Twitter, but he's not that active on there anymore either. Basically, what he's saying is that he's still, 20 years old, he still has a whole life ahead of him, and it was just more like a hobby that, I guess, turned more into an extreme kind of thing. He's even selling all his GTA 4 memorabilia, so that kind of tells you how much he's just kind of done with that whole scene in general. He's just completely bored of it. He just doesn't want to do it anymore, and he kind of feels like, if I don't enjoy something, I just shouldn't be doing it. From him to you guys that do ask and do wonder and were like so overwhelmingly supportive about it, he did want to say thank you for that. Unfortunately, he can't say that personally because, again, I deleted the footage because I'm a dumbass. That's kind of the quick version of it. I hope that kind of clears stuff up. With that very lengthy explanation done, let's actually go to the questions about me, because I'm the one with 50k subs. I'm still here, I'm important, and he's no longer important because he quit. So let's talk about me instead. And of course, the very first question that we're going to get is the one I will immediately want to knock out the park. We need to see your face after reaching this milestone. No, you don't. You don't need to see it. With that question out of the way, let's dive into the more interesting things. What I've done is I've basically thrown everything into my Vegas, and there's no particular order whatsoever. So let's just go over this. The first question comes from Salman Bajwa. I'm saying his name wrong, so we're starting off to a great start. Do you think you may have strayed away from what you were originally thought that the channel was going to grow into? Personally, my approach with YouTube has been and always will be, I'll upload what I feel like uploading. And luckily / unfortunately, that's always been GTA thus far. Like, for example, to give a recent example, last Monday when I uploaded that Epsilon video, it's just, things like that, have some humor, inform people. I like to make people laugh, and I like to inform people about stuff and teach people stuff. That's basically what I enjoy doing. And when I see people in the comment section like, hey, this was really funny, or hey, this was really informative, then it's a win-win for me. I started off YouTube just kind of uploading clips. I never really had a goal for my channel or what direction I exactly wanted to go into. I think that really started to happen like way later down the line. At the start, I was just doing whatever. I'm still kind of doing whatever, but now I just have a set amount of series, for example, like on car commercials and stuff like that. There I could just fall back onto, so there's somewhat of a structure with it. But in the end, I just kind of do whatever I feel like. There's not really a schedule apart from the custom job showcase and the event week guide for it to be set days. Sonophobos asks, do you ever play free aim PvP? I kind of used to do it somewhat regularly, but I don't know, like free aim on console for me is kind of But on PC, I absolutely love playing some free aim PvP, because then I can use a mouse and it's actually smooth compared to console, where to me it feels very clunky. What do you think is the best GTA Online update gameplay wise? I think like in the more recent past, probably Doomsday, because we got a whole bunch of new gameplay stuff added to it, and just heist in general is just always a good time to me personally. Like the original heist obviously being a good thing too. I'm very gameplay focused, to be honest with you, so whenever there is a bunch of gameplay added into the DLC, then I always welcome that with open arms. What's your opinion on tryhard? Some channels like the professionals swear on their mama that they are the reason why GTA is bad and unplayable. Personally, I think they add some intensity to the game, says Pablo. Here's the thing with me, right, is that the term tryhard gets thrown around very easily as well. Like, you have tryhards who are constantly in like all kinds of planes and all kinds of vehicles and wear bulletproof helmets, but then others are like really, you know, I guess regularly, and they just play RNG and shit like that. So it's very different the way you look at it. I personally don't mind someone chasing after me or trying to get my product whenever I'm playing a business battle, because that's the reason why I do it. I want to have like a little competitive battle for this product that we both want to have. That makes it interesting to me. I don't mind the intensity, but some of them are just straight up annoying, really. You know, when you have someone constantly spamming you with like explosives and stuff like that and constantly killing themselves and just being really toxic. That kind of player I don't enjoy, but someone who's like, you know, I guess a try hard, meaning that he's good at the game, then I mean, I don't mind that. You know, he's someone that is good at the game and he's trying to, you know, get a little bit of action going on for himself as well. Crude Dog Gaming says, what do you think GTA Online is missing, and what would you add if you could make your own DLC? I don't really have straight up ideas, but I would just make it really gameplay focused. Like, try to rebalance a few things, you know, maybe even in racing as well, and just like make it one giant, or not necessarily giant, but really gameplay focused. Maybe like not as much vehicles as you're used to, because we have so much of them already. And it's cool to have some new cars, but what would you rather have? A few new cars where you can drive circles with, or some actual new game modes that are really fresh and really fun? I personally go for the last one. Josh asks, would you consider starting back up the Challenge Gtamen series? Well, the reason I actually stopped doing it is because I didn't really receive any challenges anymore that were really interesting to do or just fun for a video. It just was getting more and more stale, and I didn't really find the motivation to keep on going. But when Red Dead comes around, I think with a fresh game, there's a whole lot more opportunities to make interesting challenges. So if I see opportunities and a good time period to start doing that, then we definitely will be doing so. After ask, did rock and roll die for you in the general perspective, including the mainstream, or do you think there's still hope for a new movement, like the garage rock in one of the early 2000s? Here's the thing, there's still rock bands going around. One of the more recent examples that I personally like is Greta Van Fleet. I'm pretty sure that you personally have heard about it. The Led Zeppelin influence is very clear. They have one album out right now. I think they're working on the second one as well. Highly suggest checking it out if you haven't already. It's very much Led Zeppelin, like it's basically a one-on-one copy in many aspects when it comes to the voice specifically. Can't really comment on the instrumentals because I'm not an expert, but it's a good time. But I personally think that nowadays in the mainstream you're not going to find any more new rock bands and stuff like that, but a channel that would be a good channel to check out if you're looking for new music or rock music or whatever would be Anthony Fantano or The Needle Drop. Both are the same person, but that is a really good channel if you're a music fan. What's your favorite Uncharted game? Probably Uncharted 4. Uncharted 2 being a very close second, because I felt like Uncharted 4 really cleared up a whole lot of things and just was a really solid game in general. Street Piggy asks, what do you think will happen to GTA Online after Red Dead? I think it's gonna take a little break, and after Red Dead has been out for a little while, I think that they're gonna start producing more content for it again, or just release it, I guess. I don't think they're gonna leave GTA Online for that, especially because Red Dead is a completely different game than GTA Online is. So it's going to be interesting to see what Rockstar is going to do with that. And if it does, obviously I'm going to cover it whenever new stuff becomes available. Then Skyrim's asked, how much time do you spend with your body pillow on a weekly basis? To be honest with you, I had to buy a new one because I spent so much time with it. But yeah, let's not go into that. Skyrim asks, have you ever stuck your dick in a vacuum cleaner to experience a blowjob? To be honest, I don't really want to talk about it because the nurse was really giving me really questionable looks whenever I came into the hospital. Fire Ghostly asks, what and who inspired you to become a YouTuber and streamer? Well, to be honest with you, there was this YouTuber by the name of Black Rooster, I believe his name was. I one time randomly when I was supposed to do college work, I searched on YouTube like, hey, you know, does anyone even upload GTA 4 videos anymore? And then one of the videos that came up was that one. There was a YouTuber who uploaded his games in Team Mafia work, which happened to be my favorite game within GTA 4 multiplayer. I was like, hey, that'll be fun to do, record some gameplay and start, doing stuff like that as well. So I bought an HTTP VR and kind of started that way. Streaming, it just kind of came naturally as well. I, at some point, thought, you know what, why not try the whole streaming thing, and just kind of went from there. Extra ask, what's been your favorite video so far to make and watch back? To make, I don't know, I have a few that were a lot of fun. Obviously, the one that comes to mind is the Rank 1000 video. I have to admit that I watched that back at least 10 times because I loved it so much. I don't know how you could be so extremely arrogant about your own videos, but deal with it, because I thought it was a fantastic video and I'm really proud of it. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's great, if I can say so myself. Skyrim asks, how did you first get to know Josh? Josh actually found my channel, and then, he kind of just followed me, and we just kind of played here and there and talked on Twitter, and I guess it just kind of grew naturally, I suppose. I guess as a smaller YouTuber, it's easier to, connect with your quote-unquote fans, but that's kind of it, really. Skyrim says, if you could live in any other country, what country would it be and why? Personally, I think I'm perfectly fine where I live now, to be honest. It's fine here, really. To live in any other country, it's most of all just a big giant hassle. You're not familiar with the whole place, and I think where I am now, I'm fine. I got fast internet, healthcare, and I can get food, so I'm good. I don't really need much more, to be honest with you. I'm fine here, so I don't really have any plans of moving out. But you never know what the future might hold. I might get an opportunity to start living somewhere else, and it's like, oh, why not? Shader asks, has Dave ever gotten into a fight with the neighbors about the noise, or you have? No, I never really been in any fights, or Dave has been, because surprisingly enough, the neighbors told us that they never hear us, which is surprising if you've seen one of my streams or Twitch highlights. Who asked, why don't you ever play Fortnite? Here's my thing with Fortnite, right? On console or PS4, it's alright because the building isn't as bad as it is on PC. My whole main issue with Fortnite is the building aspect of it, and if you take that away, I probably play it more often, to be honest, because I think from a polish standpoint it's a much better game than PUBG is, because that game is still a fucking mess. I dropped down into the new Sandhawk map. I get 30 FPS with a PC that's like i7 and everything. I got a fucking 1080. Why is this game still struggling as bad? Comrade Fuse asks, what is your opinion on Battlefield 5? My opinion on Battlefield 5, I played the alpha for a little bit. It looks interesting. I probably won't be getting it though, because obviously Red Dead. What's your favorite YouTube channels to watch? That would be, I don't know, I really have any, to be honest. I do watch Philly D every day to kind of stay up and know what's going around in the world. And I guess First We Feast has some interesting videos too, but I don't really religiously follow certain channels, to be honest. I kind of sub to a few things and just, watch it here and there, to be honest. Typically don't really watch a lot of GTA content, to be honest, because I kind of, in a way, probably like to keep my own ideas afloat, I suppose. And besides Mustangs, what other cars do you like? I don't really have any other cars that I like other than Mustangs, to be honest, because that's the thing I want to have and I'm stuck with it. Pachico asks, how do you deal with constant failure? You get used to it, honestly. I speak from experience. Just deal with it and just try. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow you'll fail a little bit less. Maftop asks, if you have to give up either Twitch or YouTube, which one would it be and why? Probably Twitch, to be honest, because you can also stream on YouTube. That's the most straight up answer, really. I really love Twitch. I think it's a superior streaming channel. But if I want to stream and do videos, I can use YouTube for that. Pachico asks a more serious question this time. What are the steps necessary for you to become a full-time YouTuber / Twitch streamer? Well, very honestly, money. That's unfortunately the sad truth. I have to earn a certain amount of money per month in order to be able to pay the bills. And if I do that for a good couple of months, or, for a good long period of time where I feel comfortable saying, hey, I can now do this full time, I probably will. But until that point, it's going to stay a hobby where I earn a few bucks with every other month and just kind of leave it at that, really. But full-time is something that is very far away. I don't earn nearly enough to pay the bills, especially because I live on my own and I have to, deal with someone else as well who lives with me. So I don't really think I can start making risky moves like that. And I really have to think about it before I can do such a big step, really, because it's not a joke to suddenly go full-time with YouTube and Twitch, because everything changes. The letter V asks, do you think it's possible to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year, especially with Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out and possibly a new GTA Online update in December? I don't really think so. 50k took me quite a while. Going from 40 to 50k took me a good couple of months too. It really is gonna depend obviously on how well Red Dead does on my channel and just like in general on YouTube as well. So I don't really think 100k is gonna be something I'm gonna be reaching by the end of the year. 50k was kind of like my realistic goal to reach for the year, which I have reached, as you can see. So I mean, I don't really try to set goals to myself like, oh, I have to reach this, because it kind of ruins the fun of the whole YouTube thing, to be honest to you. That petrol head girl asked, what are your favorite bands? I kind of would have to give you a whole list, but I'll just quickly name a few to go along with, I guess. It's obviously the first one being Pink Floyd, Black Sabbath being a very frequent thing I listen to, Judas Priest, Led Zeppelin, Metallica, kind of the more old school kind of metal bands and just rock bands in general, I suppose. Recently been kind of exploring the Deep Purple albums as well, so I guess I just try to always go around my list of trying to find some new things that I have kind of missed out on or really should be listening to, I guess. Joker asks, if you had to stay 24 hours with one GTA character of the whole franchise, who would it be and why? I'd probably go for Misty, because then I can always get late. Bold asks, what is your biggest motivation to keep going on Twitch/YouTube? Or what is the thing you like most about what you do on Twitch/YouTube? Well, my biggest motivation obviously is that it just kind of keeps growing, and like seeing the channels grow and all that stuff just really, motivates me personally. Also, of course, seeing that everyone is actually enjoying the content and me personally enjoying it as well, what I make, because that's like the main thing that I kind of like love about it. I love making something like an honest car commercial, which makes me laugh sometimes as well, as stupid as it might sound. But this is the type of stuff that I like making. When it comes to comedy stuff, I kind of enjoy making that the most, but not to say that I really enjoy seeing people like, hey, because of your video I was able to make this kind of money, or because of your video this, or because of your video that. That's the kind of motivation that is also great as well, and that's also one of the things that I like the most about Twitch and YouTube too. I've had many times where, for example, on Twitch, I have people come in chat saying, hey, I'm so glad you are streaming because I'm bored, or I had a bad day, and because of your stream I'm now better, stuff like that. That type of stuff, it just, I just, first and foremost, I enjoy it, but all that stuff that comes after that, because I enjoy it and because I do it and you guys are enjoying it so much, really helps me personally too, because it's like, I'm doing it for a reason, if that makes sense. Striker asks, are you afraid of Red Dead Redemption 2 suffering from the same way GTA Online has been handled for the past 2 years since finance and felony? I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, I guess it's worked out for Rockstar pretty well with the whole drip feeding stuff and just kind of like that way of releasing content too. So I personally wouldn't be surprised if they were to do the same thing. Hopefully though, they'll be doing it in a better way than they have been, for example, with the recent update that was, of course, After Hours. I don't really think that was a good way of handling it. Hopefully that the base content for a DLC for Red Dead Online will be like sufficient and will be enough for us to like at least, I guess, play it for a week. And then kind of having content coming out that way, I wouldn't personally really mind that, to be honest. Drip feeding has a good and a bad side. I'll probably do a video on that at some point to kind of give my full-on opinion on it without rambling on about it here too much. But you have to keep this in mind as well, though, is that Red Dead Online is going to be completely different than GTA Online. You're not going to be able to release like a car every week because there are no cars in Red Dead. And I think there's only a limited amount of horses you can pick from without them looking the exact same as the next one. Warlord asks, what are some games that you're looking forward to playing in 2018 when they release other than Red Dead Redemption 2? Currently the only game aside from Red Dead Redemption 2 that looks like something that I would want to play and probably going to get is a new Spider-Man game. I'm not all too much into Marvel and like that superhero stuff, but from what I've seen in the gameplay during E3, I was like, wow, this could actually be a really interesting game to play something different for once. The issue with most of the games that are coming out are either around the time Red Dead is going to come out or after, and I think in both scenarios, me playing those games is going to be pretty non-existent. Especially because I want to get the game as early as I possibly can, so if anyone knows a guy, send me a message. No, Neon. Hassan asks, why the fuck do we have a Ask Gtamen on every milestone? Because I'm very unoriginal. Hoodling asks, how does it feel to be rank 1000? Like I have nothing to go for anymore in GTA Online and all my goals are now achieved. That's the sad truth. To ask, other than video games and other related activities, what is your favorite thing to do? That's pretty much all I do. Does making YouTube videos and stream count? Tricky asks, who is your most hated GTA character? Someone you can't bear to see on screen or play as. There's this guy on PSN called Some Call Me Turkey. It's this online player, really strange guy. He's from Wales. He always wears this weird fox mask. I can't stand that dude. Otaku Supreme Gaming asks, why are you Gtamen an only man? There's a video on that, I'll link it in the sky, you can go watch that. Herb asks, what is it that keeps you hooked on GTA, considering the game is 5 years old? I find it interesting that you have still been making content as much as you do, and the quality of content that hasn't worsened over time. Some disagree on that. I suppose a follow-up question would be, aside from Red Dead 2, are there any games you plan on playing in the future and plan on making videos on? To answer your first question, I still enjoy the game, to be honest. Whenever I feel like playing the game, I also mostly just attach a stream to it. So I have a bunch of people to play with too. We just play some races or anything alongside of that. And it's just a fun little game to just mess around with for a few hours and just, call it a day. There's always something surprising or something silly happening when you play GTA. I'm sure that whoever watching this will probably agree with this, but when it comes to the amount of time that I do play it, I wouldn't necessarily consider myself hooked on it anymore. My goals for GTA Online are kind of already done. I own everything that I want to own, I guess. If I want to own something else, I can because I'm 95 million. I'm ranked 1000, so my goals are kind of gone. However, if I do jump on GTA Online and I spawn in a free mode with a business battle, I'm like, oh hell yeah, because a lot of the aspects of GTA Online are still a lot of fun to me. I like death matches and races. There's still a ton to do if you would want to play GTA. It's especially handy if you're not focused on money anymore, because you can just mess around and buy stuff and just waste money and it's whatever. When it comes to Red Dead 2, it's obviously something that I'm going to make videos on whenever that comes around. I don't know what type of content just yet, because obviously the game's not out yet, and I obviously have to play the game in order to see what kind of content I can make on it. When it comes to any other games, it's just I'm kind of looking for that thing, that other game that will be fun to make videos on too. I mean, obviously GTA is not my main thing. It will probably stay that way until Red Dead comes out, and even after Red Dead, I'll probably still be making videos on GTA if there's stuff that I would, want to make stuff on. I just kind of upload what I feel like uploading. Like, for example, that Fortnite video that I did a while back. I felt like doing that. It's just a little piss take. That's it, We'll make that kind of video and then we'll just move on to our quote-unquote regularly scheduled programming. I always try to look for something fun, like stream highlights, anything like that. Like I did with the A Way Out playthrough that I did with Josh. Stuff like that. At least sometimes have a little bit of variety here and there. That makes the channel, I guess, more appealing and upload something fresh for those that do still look for content from me, but then maybe in a bit of a different setting that they're used to. JP1 Cut King asks, why do you always dress like a broke-ass biker? Because I'm unoriginal. And to be honest, at this point everyone recognizes the outfit, so it would be stupid for me to change it. Sampan asks, since you don't do face cam content or have a face review, I presume you have a strong sense of privacy. Why is this? You like anonymity or don't need your personality to get front of your content? I personally think that I already tried to throw some personality in there, but not necessarily with the face cam. I don't necessarily think that the face cam adds a whole lot to it apart from my dumb face sitting at the corner of your screen so you can stare at that while I pull a dumb face and you can laugh at that. The thought of a face cam has crossed my mind multiple times. Hell, I even have the damn thing, but it's just not something I guess I'm really all too comfortable with as well. And I personally really like the idea, like you said, of, you know, people not really knowing who I am, what I look like, and what I do. I just kind of personally like the idea more that I upload videos that I hope that you enjoy, and if you enjoy them, that's great. If you don't, okay, try again next time. But I feel like a face cam, yes, it does add to the content, but I'm just simply not really that comfortable with it, and I really like the, you know, the sense of being, you know, very private. I'm very much someone that is to itself, and you know, there are of course some people that have seen what I look like, and you know, the people that have seen it I trust. But another thing as well is that if I put my face out there, it's out there. There's no way back. I can't, you know, undo that decision. So it's something that crosses my mind a lot, and there's been a few times where I was very close to saying fuck it, but then I was like, this is a bad idea. But I hope that sort of kind of answers your questions. If it doesn't and it's confusing, I'm sorry. I'm confusing, I know, but I'm, I guess in a way, slightly paranoid and all that stuff too. I'll save you all the details. Ganis asks, what car do you drive in real life? Some piece of shit Kia that hopefully starts tomorrow again when I have to go to work. P4Ro asks, what games do you like that's not GTA 5? Typically kind of like action adventures kind of game. To name a more recent example of a game that I really enjoyed was A Way Out, which I played with Josh, like I mentioned before. It's a very interesting game. I guess in general, that's kind of like the game I go for. I really like games with a good story as well, that you get really sucked into, like, you know, The Last of Us, or like, I guess Naughty Dog games. They're really good at making stories. I'm sure that people that have played it can definitely confirm this one. Fennels asks, opinion on Migos? Fucking terrible. Christian asks, what is your dream car in real life? A Ford Mustang from 2015 on. Joe F asks, you seem like a well-educated person that has some well-rounded taste in music, albeit in music that I would generally associate with someone in their mid-30s and 40s. What do you do for a living? We know YouTube isn't your making your Benzes and bitches, but what pays the bills and buys the liquor? What field did you get into your education in, and what is something that you want to do? Well, the short answer to this is very simple. I'm a hooker and I suck dick for a living. Well, Perchi Nacht, or whatever you pronounce it, asks, how and when did you first discover the GTA series? Very quick answer really. I was at my cousin's. They had an original Xbox with GTA 5 City. I was 8 years old, I played on it, and it all went on from there. Then I was 10 years old, and my cousin gave me a legally downloaded version of GTA San Andreas for PC, and I never looked back. Preston Penna asked, what made you want to do YouTube? Money. Just I saw everyone driving Lamborghinis, is like, I want that. Elgato asked, what is your real name? Joseph. No, you can't. JB asked, would you like a hunting DLC for GTA Online? Well, we're already hunting people down in free mode for the business goods, right? So what's really the difference? Mr. Adventure asks, how big is your PP? 2.5 inches of rock solid disappointment. The Chill Gamer asks, what is your most hated feature in GTA? Bulletproof helmets. Get rid of those fucking things. Polak asks, which music genre subgenres, if exist, and musicians are your favorites, and what do you like about them? My favorite music genre, it really depends on my mood, to be honest with you. Generally, I kind of like mid-tempo kind of rock, I guess. Like a Tin Lizzy, Pink Floyd, and that sort of thing is something that I really enjoy. Pink Floyd, of course, being my favorite. And just what I like about them, it's a good vibe, you know. It really just depends on my mood. Like, music is a mood, as a lot of people say, and I fully agree with that. You know, when I feel like I'm like, you know, a little bit more happy, I'm just kind of looking for the kind of more upbeat kind of stuff, you know, maybe some Beatles or anything like that. But when I'm more like, you know, in the mood to chill a little bit more, I'll just turn on some Floyd and just, you know, kind of lean back and have a good time and just kind of sing along with the songs, because I've heard them so many times that I'll know them word for word. Yes, I'm that guy. RJ in 1968 asks, do you keep close contact with the genuine YouTubers in the community? I don't necessarily know what you mean with that, but personally I kind of stick to myself. I guess I keep contact. Yeah, I guess you mean like someone like Bruffy or like Sonny or whatever. I do keep contact with them, you know, here and there. I just throw them a tweet or just, you know, send them a message or whatever. but I don't like, constantly message them like, hey man, how's your YouTube going? You want to make a collab? It's not really something that I really am, to be honest. I just kind of stick to myself, do my own thing, and the people who are like, hey, you want to do something together, or Sunny's like, hey, can you do a voiceover for me? I'm like, yeah, sure. Almost out there just to, help others if they are in need of so. Red Hunter asks, would you fuck a female gypsy? No one would even fuck a male gypsy, let alone a female one. Come on now. Angoro asks, what are your thoughts on modding offline and modded dedicated servers such as 5M? Touching on modding offline, I use it all the time for my videos. If you look at an example being the honest car reviews. Fully made with mods on PC. If I didn't have mods, I would honestly not know how to make it. I would have to go through a whole bunch of hoops and loops to change my characters and do a whole bunch of things. And with PC, it's so much easier. As well as a lot of other videos and just like generally thumbnails and stuff like that are much easier to make on PC versus on console. Modded dedicated servers like 5M. Not a big fan of the RP server, but there is one particular server that I have played on and I'm a huge fan of. That is a server called Project Homecoming. It's made by the Nodo guys. If you're familiar with Bruffy and Sugarfree Nos, I'm sure you've heard them mention it a few times. Bruffy even has videos on that 5M server as well. It's a dedicated racing server, basically making racing in GTA Online the way I guess it was supposed to be in their eyes. So if you're looking for something like that, search it on 5M. It's called Project Homecoming. I did a stream on it before. It is actually a really, really good time. Rebel Sun Gaming asks, do you think GTA Online has ruined GTA for the worst, and will it have an impact on Red Dead Redemption 2? I really think that, of course, GTA Online is going to have a massive impact on Red Dead Redemption 2's multiplayer for sure, mainly because of gameplay aspects. They have experimented a lot of stuff within GTA Online. Some might agree, some might disagree with what they have done, but I don't think that GTA Online has necessarily ruined the franchise as a whole. I think GTA Online, gameplay-wise and what is in there is content, is simply nothing short of incredible. I know a lot of people are always quick to jump on the money aspect of things and how Rockstar has run their business with the game, and obviously that's a completely separate argument from what the game actually is, at least in my opinion. Obviously the whole shark car thing, you can go on about it for hours and hours on end. I personally despise the discussion at this point. It's been talked about so many times. It's beating a dead horse. There are shark cards in the game. They're there. Either make money, buy stuff, or just deal with the fact you have no money. That's the way I go about it. I've never purchased a shark card in my life, and I'm probably going to keep it that way, because what I personally do is I just make use of double cash weeks in GTA Online whenever a good one rolls around, and that's how I make my money. Irish Shapes asks, what is your favorite motorcycle in the game? The zombie chopper. I just really love that style of chopper, and just the sound that thing makes is, oh yeah. Sparta asks, where did the story times go? Story time with AJ, I've asked the man in question a few times, when we can expect a new thing, but he's just busy with life, really. I'll probably just send him another DM after I'm done recording this, like, hey, what's the dealio? The people are asking for more and more. They want more story time with AJ. But my personal story time, I have a very boring life, so don't expect any from me, really. Nukström Kransen, or whatever you pronounce it, asked, well, do you think GTA Online will continue attracting viewers long term? If not, would you move on to another game? Personally, I've never really, cared all too much about viewers, to be honest, and I continue to attract them. Obviously, from a channel growth perspective, if GTA Online dies down and just stops, being interesting to people to watch, then I obviously have to find something, but I don't know. The thing is, there's been many dry patches of GTA Online where my channel wasn't really, having the best of times, I guess, because of that interest that was dwelling. But I just always just kept uploading this stuff I wanted to upload. And since this is not really my full-time job and really the thing that is putting food on the table, I can just simply do that. Obviously, when Red Dead comes out, I'm going to move on to that for a bit, but still keep an eye on GTA Online, what's going on in there. But I don't know. I just gonna see how it goes, and if suddenly everyone stops watching GTA Online and I see another game that I find interesting to make content on, I will. It doesn't really matter too much to me, how many viewers I get, because if I did, I probably wouldn't be uploading the custom job showcase every other week, because that gets, I guess, like barely any views compared to what the rest gets. Which is a shame in a way, because there's all the cool stuff that gets shown on those custom job showcases. The maps that some people submit are simply crazy. Leon asks, is it true that you are allergic to Christmas music? I have a better question for you. Why the fuck are you thinking about Christmas in August? It's boiling hot outside. It's nearing around 30 degrees tomorrow as well. Why are you thinking about Christmas? I guess I can see why, because this will be winter, not as stupidly fucking hot as now. Blue Jay asks, most enjoyable platinum trophy you've ever achieved on PlayStation. I don't necessarily think that I can name like the most enjoyable platinum trophy, mainly because it is associated with the game and how much I enjoyed that, for example. Like, I guess in general my ideal platinum trophy has no collectibles, and then it's immediately an enjoyable platinum trophy for me. As soon as there are collectibles in there, it can just go fuck themselves, and it just I hate collectibles so much. It's such a waste of time. PCPD Nitro asks, how do you think Rockstar will keep us occupied in the upcoming years? What themes/ideas do you think will be in the future updates? What update currently out is your personal favorite? Personally, I think that, there's still, I think, a lot of life in GTA Online. The game is currently nearing 100 million copies sold, or shipped rather, so that is a whole lot of copies for a game that is now nearing 5 years old as well next month. I think that after Red Dead has been, out for a little while, we're going to get more and more DLCs. But I think at this point, like I mentioned in the previous video too, they have to keep GTA 6 in mind as well, because they're going to have to think about this too. GTA 6 is going to have to feel fresh, and its online component as well. And I know there is a whole lot of vehicles, but gameplay aspects, it's going to be difficult to not fall into the same repeat things that they might have done in the previous updates since Bikers, I suppose. And my personal favorite has to be free mode events. When they came around, it completely changed the game, I guess, in a good way. It was basically the segue from free mode being a deserted place with nothing to do to always something to do within free mode. Like right now with the business battle, it's simply fantastic. Greeny Boy asks, was Gtamen originally going to be a community channel? Because your name Gtamen, even though you're one person. The original name of the channel was the Liberty Lunatic, for those who don't know. So yeah, I guess that was quote-unquote one name. But then later down the line, more and more people started actually just refer to me as Gtamen, because that's how I became known more and more. So throughout the community and everything like that. So I figured, why not change my name to Gtamen as well? I'll be easier to find. People don't have to, ask like, hey, what actually is your YouTube channel, because I couldn't find it with Gtamen. So it made more sense to do it in that way. But no, it's never been a community channel. It's always just been me. And if someone had something interesting to upload, I'd like, for example, with the more Untages that I did back in the day, and with that I mean simply re-uploaded them and Josh did all the work, then I just simply did that. I never really saw it as a community channel. I just always said it's my own thing, and I see something interesting that I find worth sharing, I will. Jesse asks, if you're going to make a soundtrack to your life, what songs would appear in it? That would probably be the Wall album. There's a lot of stuff in there that I really relate to, I suppose. I'm not going to pinpoint what exactly kind of stuff is in there, but it's my favorite album of all time. So I guess that's one of the reasons as well, because I very much relate to a lot of stuff that is in there. I Speechless Gamer asks, what do you do in GTA when you're bored? I turn off the game and I go play something else. See guys, it's really that simple. You just turn off the game and, you don't have to hate on it. And that was it. It was a long video. It was a video with a lot of answers, and I hope you got something useful out of those answers as well. If you want to see other things than just me rambling on YouTube, I also have a Twitch page if you never heard about that. There's a link to that in the description down below. I answer a lot of questions on there too, so you can really not need this Q&A kind of stuff every God knows what milestone I'll do this next on. So definitely go ahead and follow me on there if you haven't already. But with all that said and done, thank you so very much for watching. Thank you so very much as well for 50,000 subscribers. I really do appreciate your continued support. Let's see what the future holds, and hopefully I will be able to celebrate 100,000 subscribers next week, because I'm impatient and greedy. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.